Yo, guys, this is your boy Bernard, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week, which isn't a lot because, like I told you guys last week, is the end of the year. News is starting to slow down unless it's something dramatic. Also, giving you guys a heads up. My friend gave me a monitor. I guess he upgraded. So if you see me look to the left, it's because the monitor is over there. But everything will be on my main screen. It's just like I might look over there once in a while because I'm just getting used to it. He just gave it to me like a few days before Christmas. But let's go ahead and get into the news. Unfortunately, I do have to start this podcast on a somber note, giving a rest in peace to James Ransone. He has passed away at the age of 46. According to the LA County Medical Examiner, Ransone died by suicide on last Friday, which was the 19th of December. He was born on June 2nd, 1979. A lot of people may know him for playing Ziggy on The Wire, but he was also in a lot of horror stuff. So he was Deputy So-and-so in the Sinister movies. He played Bobby in VHS 85, and he played Max in both the Black Phone films. And Black Phone 2 just recently came out like earlier this year. I want to say like maybe September. But yeah, a lot of condolences came out. Like Spike Lee gave him a condolence because he was an inside man in Red Hook Summer. He said he remembered him as a dear brother. Sean Baker, who directed Starlight and Tangerine, said that he would miss you dearly, my friend. Maya Taylor, who also co-starred with him in Tangerine, said that, his death hurt her so bad and that he was such a sweet and funny guy and he could light up a room with his smile and dimples. Timo Tahano said that Ransone was a raw talent for years, and he actually went down a rabbit hole of his work from Larry Clark to Generation Kill. And a lot of us may know him for playing the adult version of Eddie Kasparek in It Chapter 2. But yeah, 46 years old. Like I said before, guys, if you ever feel like you're going through mental issues, just, try to get help in some way, shape, or form. I believe we still have the National Suicide Hotline. If Trump didn't get rid of it, I believe it's just 998. Just reach out to people like during this time. Like, I get it. Like, the holidays isn't, a fun time for everybody. Like, I don't need nobody calling me about this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I literally had a mini breakdown in the shower. Just because it was around Thanksgiving when my father passed. Jessica's birthday is usually like the week of Thanksgiving. It's one of the reasons I don't like being in Lauderdale. So like, I just lost it, like just randomly. I wasn't really even doing anything. This was like on a Sunday, like I was getting ready for bed and everything, and just literally broke down in the shower. But yeah, rest in peace to James Ransone. Also, I have to give a rest in peace to Vince Zampella. He passed away at the age of 55 from a car accident. So if you have no idea who Vince Zampella was, he was the co-creator of the Call of Duty franchise, as well as the co-founder of Infinity Ward and Respawn. And he was working as the head of, Battlefield, which isn't that done by Activision, if I'm not mistaken? So I don't know. But EA put out a statement on his passing. They said that this is an unimaginable loss, and our hearts are with Vince's family, his loved ones, and all those touched by his work. Vince's influence on the video game industry was profound and far-reaching. A friend, a colleague, leader, and visionary creator. His work helped shape modern interactive entertainment and inspired millions of players and developers around the world. His legacy will continue to shape how games are made and how players connect for generations to come. So yeah, that's just crazy. Two people in like the span of like 4 days, because Vince passed away on the 22nd and James passed away on the 19th. Oh, God. Uh, so yeah, we got to give a rest in peace to those two individuals and condolences to their families. So, as I said, guys, it is a slow news week. I've been scouring every single news source I can think of to get geek news, and nobody's really had anything. So let's just go ahead and get into a little bit of stuff I have before I get into the reviews of Percy Jackson and the last 3 episodes. Well, the most recent 3 episodes of Stranger Things. So, a toy company that's been around for years, it's been synonymous with one franchise, and they are losing that franchise next year. Playmates will no longer be producing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys in 2026. Yeah, so like they put out a press release to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange that negotiations between Viacom, who is the parent company of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because, you know, Nickelodeon, Paramount, so on and so forth, and Playmates have been ongoing since October of this year. However, on December 23rd, Viacom informed Playmates that their licensing agreement would not be renewed upon expiration on December 31st, 2026. And breaking down all the legal mumbo jumbo, all the above means that no more Ninja Turtle stuff will be coming out from Playmates in 2026. So this is the, it's not necessarily a press release. It says it's inside information. So I don't know how, you know, this got leaked, because I saw it on Reddit as well. So they said, this is from Playmates Toys Limited, incorporated in Bermuda with limited liability. This announcement is made by Playmates Toys Limited, the company, together with the subsidiaries, the group, pursuant to rule, blah, 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 blah. All right. So the board of directors of the company wishes to inform shareholders of the company and potential investors about the latest business development of the group. Pursuant to the existing license agreement entered into between Viacom Media Networks and the licensor, as the licensor in Playmates International Company Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of the group as the licensee, PLIC, which is Playmates Limited. Playmates International Corporate Limited, was granted the right to design, manufacture, distribute, and sell the products of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Negotiations between the party regarding the renewal of the license agreement had been ongoing since October 2025, but PICL has recently been formally notified by the licensor that the license agreement will not be renewed upon expiry on the 31st of December 2026. As a result, the rights of PICL to sell the licensed product shall cease on December 31st, 2026, while the right to dispose its inventories of the licensed products will cease 90 days thereafter, the pursuant of license agreement. All right. So based upon the information of the company, the revenue from sales of the licensed products represented are approximately 8%, 13%, 77%, 47%, and 30%, 36% of the consolidated revenue of the group for the year ended December 31st, 2021, December 31st, 2022, 2023, and for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2025, respectively. The board will assess the impact of the non-renewal of the license agreement of the financial performance of the group and will update the shareholders as and when appropriate. Following the expiry of the license agreement, the group will continue where appropriate to identify and evaluate potential licensing opportunities that align with its strategic considerations, and will continue its efforts to develop and manage its existing products line, including but not limited to Power Rangers, Monsterverse, and Winx. I didn't even know Winx was still a thing as far as, like, you know, toys goes. Like I thought the Winx Club stuff was, you know, done. So, you know, this is weird because, like I said, Playmates has been doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys since I was a kid. Like, I remember, like, getting the Playmates Ninja Turtles figures and, like, all their weapons and stuff. They came in, like, this little, it was, like, on, like, a piece of slab of plastic where you had to actually disconnect the weapons from that because I guess they didn't want them to be loose. But, yeah, so, I mean, now this just makes me wonder who is going to be getting the license by the time the Mutant Mayhem sequel comes out in 2027. This is rum and strawberry soda. I did not have any Coke or Sprite. So, drinking on the last episode of the year, guys. Leave me alone. So, yeah. Like I said, that sucks for Playmates. But I'm not really a fan of Playmates stuff growing up now. I like my toys to have like points of articulation. Playmates stuff doesn't really do that. I mean, it doesn't do that at all. I'm saying really like it ever did it. So, Playmates figures, they're just basic. Like my Power Ranger group, we had our White Ranger gift exchange, and I got a Playmates Green Ranger with the Automorph, which is basically like the flip head that came out back in the day when I was a child that Bandai did. And no points of articulation, like fingers don't move. Like it's got a few like joint movements, but that's about it. Like I like my fingers to be able to move and stuff like that on my action figures. So I am more than likely going to give that toy to my nephew, despite the fact that it says 4 and up. He's 2. So, I mean, I'll also talk to my sister about that. I don't want to do anything that might make her mad. But yeah, this sucks for Playmates because like I did not know Playmates was still like doing anything outside of Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. And like, what the fuck is Monsterverse? That's the question. Like I'm looking up Playmates toys right now. See what other things they have. So this does not have the whole list of stuff that they have, but they do have their proprietary brands, which are Amazing Dolls, Amazing Pets, Hearts for Hearts Girls, Kindergarten Babies, Nano Pets. Nano Pets are still a thing. Revs, Water Babies, Wow Pals, Yo Stick. What the hell is a Yo Stick? I'm going to have to look that up now. Something called Struts, Ooglies, Karoba, Tiny Toes, BFF, Best Friends Forever, Addams Family, and Austin Powers Vocalizers. So, like, pretty sure, they don't make those anymore because Austin. I'm looking at this thing. What the fuck is a Yo Stick? I might have to watch like a trailer or something because is that like the little trick, the stick that goes? Let me pull up a video real quick. It's 36 seconds. It's a commercial.
Yo Stick.
It's mini with lights.
You flick. Mini stick with lights. Yo Stick. Mini
okay, so it's a yo-yo stick.
Yo Stick.
For the most intense Yo Stick action.
Never seen this before in my life, and this commercial is definitely from the 90s.
Yo Stick tricks look better in the dark.
Yo Stick.
It's yo to go.
Never seen this before in my life.
New deluxe mini Yo Stick in 4 color combos, each sold separately.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't even believe that's a thing that's being made anymore. So yeah, hopefully, this doesn't cause Playmates to go belly up or anything like that. All right, my next story on this very slow news week. Percy Jackson, as we know, has started season 2. I will be reviewing episode 4 later on. But we got some cast announcements for season 3, which I hope comes out next year. I'm sick and tired of having to wait like every 2 years for TV shows. But Holt McCallany is playing Atlas. I have no idea who that is. He looks like Anthony Michael Hall. David Constable, who is one of those guys I just hate because he always plays an asshole. He is playing Dr. Thorne, and Jesse L. Martin is playing Frederick Chase. It's nice to see Jesse L. Martin doing some type of work since, NBC decided to live up to the joke that Man TV made 30 years ago, where, there was nothing but the black lead on NBC in the 90s. So they said that NBC stood for nothing but crackers because he had a show on NBC. Ratings were good. They canceled that. They canceled Found, which was another black-led show. They canceled Lopez versus Lopez, Quantum Leap. So basically anything that the lead wasn't white is gone from NBC. Hope McCanley was on Mindhunter. Didn't watch that. He was in Wrath of Man. He was the dad in the Iron Claw. So that might be the only thing I ever saw him in. He was also in The Amateur, which I still haven't watched. Nightmare Alley, Creep Show 2. He was in Fight Club as the mechanic. So, okay, I've seen a few things with the minute. All right, so yeah, but David Constable, I hate that guy. If you ever watch Suits, he played what was his character's name? He was a part of the firm before Jessica booted him out. Going to this real quick. You would think they would have his character's name like right at the top, since a lot of people know him from Suits. Daniel Hardman. Yes. Fuck you. And he was only in 16 episodes? Okay. You learn something new every day. All right, guys. My next story is a bit of news that pissed me off, but I kind of had a feeling it was coming anyway, since video games just keep getting fucking delayed. 007 First Light has been delayed to May 27, 2026. So IO Entertainment's president, Arkan Abrek, posted a notification to the socials on IO Interactive's Twitter page, social media in general, Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. So he said, "Hello everyone. Today we are sharing an update regarding 007 First Light, as we have decided to move the game's release by 2 months to the 27th of May 2026. 007 First Light is our most ambitious project to date, and the team has been fully focused on delivering an unforgettable James Bond experience, bringing together breathtaking action, globe-trotting, spycraft, gadgets, car chases, and more. As an independent developer and publisher, this decision allows us to ensure the experience meets the level of quality you players deserve on day one. The game is progressing as well and is fully playable from beginning to end, so these additional 2 months will allow us to further polish and refine the experience, ensuring we deliver the strongest possible version at launch. We're confident this sets 007 First Light up for a long-term success, and we sincerely appreciate the patience and continued support we've received since we revealed the game. We look forward to sharing more updates regarding 007 First Light in early 26. Thank you again for your support." Fucking landlines. All right, I'm back. Mini crash out, and then this damn monitor froze up. So I don't know how long this is going to, hold out for me. But I do know one thing. I'm going to take my break. Guys, here is the W ad, and I will be right back after these messages. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task, and go to Dubby.gg and use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's Dubby.gg with promo code AngryBlerd10. All right, I'm back. Had to look at my notes. I'm like, did I name an episode fucking Landmines already? And I apparently did. So I got to find another name for this episode. It might just be See in 2026. All right, but let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. The teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday that features Steve Rogers, aka Chris Evans, returning as Capitan Americana. All right, I am pulling this up right now. Obviously, that's Steve on the bike. It's him at Peggy's house. You can tell that's Chris Evans just by the shape of the frame. And Captain America is a father. will return in Avengers Doomsday. December 18th, 2026. I wonder how much was the bag that they threw at Evans to come back. So, my thoughts on this are simple. At this point, Marvel is scrambling for nostalgia. See, I just looked at the monitor. And it's like, why? So, it's like the multiverse saga, like, just done. It's like, this is what happens when you take your head of studio and force him to focus on making fucking content for your streaming platform. The quality of your product starts to dilute, and that's the main problem that everyone's been having with Marvel since 2020. Like, we started off kind of strong, and then we started to dip and plateau, and now it's kind of dead. But they're just doing these weekly with the release of Avatar: Fire and Ash. So next week, the Thor and Love one will hit YouTube because that was already announced. Thanks Variety for spoiling shit for people. Because like I said, I refuse to see Avatar to watch an Avengers trailer. But yeah, I'm good that Chris Evans is back as Steve Rogers, but that doesn't mean that Anthony Mackie has to give up the shield. And if they make Anthony Mackie's character, like, you know, step down and go back to being Falcon, then what the fuck is Joaquin gonna be? Is there gonna be two Falcons? No, because there could be two Captain Americas. There have been two Captain Americas in the comics. There's been several Captain Americas in the comics, actually, at the same time. Like, Bucky and Steve were both Captain America at one point, and now it's Steve and Sam. And I don't know what the hell the comics are doing because I'm a little behind. But they changed Sam's suit to like look like bat wings, and it's just horrible. Like, did they also change his name? Is he no longer going by Captain America? Because if they did, then I'm gonna just say fuck Marvel. But yeah, I mean, it sucks that, you know, we're just gonna have to slide back and bring back everybody who, you know, had a finale wrap up their story, because like, yo, Steve went to go live his life, so why is he back? That's the question. It's dumb. Yo, and this is another one. The fans, the quote unquote fans of these actors, don't watch anything that these actors do outside of Marvel movies to, you know, support them, whatever. Like, I don't know nobody who saw Red One. I don't know anybody who saw Ghosted, even though that went straight to streaming for Chris Evans. Robert Downey Jr. Nobody saw Doolittle. I mean, I give that a little bit of grace because that was the pandemic. Like, Chris Hemsworth movies, Furiosa bombed. That one movie he did while he was still playing Thor with Tom Holland, where they're like out at sea. It was like some bootleg Moby Dick shit. That also didn't make any money, I believe. And before somebody say, oh, you know, I saw Cabin in the Woods, I saw Red Dawn. Those movies were shot in like 2009 before Chris Hemsworth even became famous. They just sat on the shelf for so long because MGM was going fucking bankrupt. But yeah, Transformers 1, nobody saw that. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of just over all this shit. Like, I think even Men in Black International bombed. I'm up to checking that right now. I think that actually made money, but let's look right now. According to Wikipedia, Men in Black International barely made its budget back. Budget was 94 to 110 million. Box office was 253 million. So they only got like $33.9 million in profit. But I don't know, man. I ain't really got no more talking on that. Let's go up and cue the fucking spoiler alert. So I'm gonna be talking about episode 4 of Percy Jackson. This is titled Clarice Blows Up Everything, and this is directed by Jason Ensler and written by Shea Worthy. So we actually get a flashback in the beginning of this where Grover tries to take Annabeth, Luke, and Thalia to camp, but then after Annabeth is kidnapped by Cyclops and rescued by Thalia, they decide to go for Annabeth's safety. And then this is how Thalia died because the Fury showed up and she sacrificed herself so that they can reach the camp. Meanwhile, we go back to the present. Tyson is worried about the prophecy about one of the children of the big three either saving Olympus or destroying it, but Percy tells him that, you know, everything will be fine. But then Clarice shows up and literally starts to blow up everything. She blew up their boat, and was like, yo, give me the right coordinates. And Percy was like, okay, I'll give them to you, but, you know, got to do trial by combat. I kicked your dad's ass, so because he tried to say like, hey, Tyson's good with engines. I know everything about the sea, and I forgot what he said about Annabeth, but Clarice wasn't having it, so Annabeth put on her visibility hat and killed the 3 people who were basically the fillers for the roles that Percy said that they can cover. So Annabeth convinces Clarice to face Scylla and sacrifice 6 crew members so they can enter the Sea of Monsters, although Clarice doesn't want to do that because she promised that they would be able to go to Elysium, which is basically Greek Valhalla, knowing that she does not have the authority to do that because she's not a Greek god. They begin the first trial at Celia, where Celia took 3 of the captors, and then Clarice decided to face Chibridas, who is also a Greek monster. But Percy tried to change the course because they didn't have to deal with Cherubus, and basically the wind thermos that Hermes gave Percy got completely open because he said don't open it all the way, otherwise, you know, you basically create a tornado. Destroyed the ship with all of them in a cyclone. So I don't know what happens to Tyson or Clarice because they weren't in the preview from the next episode. But this was a good episode. It was super short though. It was like only 34 minutes long. So I'm like, can we just like please get like some type of consistency with our episodes as far as length goes? But yeah, I mean, very good episode. I'm not complaining. Besides the length. All right. I am going to talk about, Stranger Things. I'm going to talk about episode 5, which is Shock Jock, directed by Frank Darabont, and written by Curtis Gwynn and Camazotz, all the children who Henry /Vecna/1, aka VH1, took at the end of chapter 4, all awake, and most believe that Henry saved them, but you know, obviously Holly and Derek don't, because they more or less have the full breakdown of everything that happened. Holly and Max are going through Henry's memories of Holly to find a way to escape. Meanwhile, Derek distracts them. Very funny moment. Derek might be the MVP of this season because like everyone was like, why is he here? But then like the Duffer Brothers like, oh no, he's very essential, and he is proven to be essential because he is no longer douchebag Derek. He is delightful Derek, and they use Derek to distract Henry so they can figure out a way to get out. But then Derek threatens Henry threatens Derek's family. Then he finds Holly and strangles Max. Will and the guys come up with a plan to basically Frankenstein a Demogorgon using the radio tower's voltage so they can connect Will to the hive mind so he can try to kill Henry /Vecna/1. But it doesn't work. But he does take control of Vecna. He breaks his leg, tells Max to run, but Vecna also takes his mind back over. Meanwhile, back in the Upside Down, Hopper, 11, and 8 escape the base, and Callie, aka 8, reveals why Dr. K had her hostage. She was basically doing the same experiments that Burnard was doing with Henry's blood, trying to create more super kids, but they were failing, and they realized why she was looking for 11, because 11 is the key, since she's the only test subject who successfully has matched Henry's level of powers. Meanwhile, still in the Upside Down, Dustin figured out that that destroying the shield can weaken Henry. That's at the lab. But then after a fight with Steve, Dustin finds Bernard's journal and realizes that he's wrong, but he doesn't get to tell Nancy in time before, Nancy does what she does best and shoot the damn thing. So, very good episode. I really need Dustin and Steve to get back on the same page because, come on, get it together. We ain't got the time for this. All right. So, yeah, this spear blew up, and that's how the episode ended. So that leads us into Chapter 6, Escape from Camazotz, which is directed by Sean Levy and written by Kate Trefry. All right. So yeah, the building started to melt after the spear detonate, and Nancy and Jonathan are trapped in a room. Believing that they are going to die, they decide to just lay it all out on the table, telling each other that they don't like each other's types of music. I don't like your sweater. I was going to propose, but what's the point? I mean, this relationship has basically run its course. But then the melting stopped, and Dustin is doing an exposition dump that the Upside Down is not an alternate dimension, but a wormhole to another realm that he calls the Abyss under the D&D reference. Max and Holly are finding memories of Henry in the woods. Not in the woods, in the desert in Nevada. This all leads back into the Stranger Things play, The First Shadow, where Henry ends up killing a man in self-defense who shot him in the hand. Meanwhile, back in the Right Side Up, Erica and Murray get Mr. Clark to help locate Dustin, since Mr. Clark was busy getting on with the librarian. But as soon as you tell him, hey, your star pupil's in trouble, he's like, nah, let me put on my pants. Henry took Will after, forcing him out of his mind to try to track down Max in the real world, and he sends demo dogs to kill her in the hospital where Lucas is at with Robin. Back in the Upside Down, Hopper, Callie, and 11 find a way out of the Upside Down while they get back to Hawkins. 11 does her thing in the deprivation tank and gets Will, where he tells her that Vecna used me again, so he knows where Max is. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Lucas, Robin, and Vicky protect Max after Robin finally comes clean to Vicky about everything, and Vicky's like, nah, you're on drugs, because you stole all those drugs, and nah, you got issues. But Lucas, being the MVP that he always is, with the help of Robin, talking over the intercom, telling him that the demo dogs are on their way, gets Max out. They all link up in the basement. They almost get ready to get killed, but then here go Karen Wheeler, basically going full Sarah Connor again. Meanwhile, back in the Upside Down, Max and Holly are basically in Vecna's mind palace, and they see a way out for Max, and Max is like, yo, you can't come with me. This is my way out. But Holly goes on an exposition dump about not being brave, but then Max gives her some words of confidence, and she actually sees the portal of where her body is. So they go their separate ways, and that was the end of that episode. Alright guys, episode 7, aka Chapter 7, The Bridge, co-directed by the Duffer Brothers and Sean Levy, written by the Duffer Brothers. Max wakes up back in her body. Meanwhile, Holly is waking up in her body in the abyss. She gets out of the weird sack that Vecna has her in. Dustin, Steve, and Nancy rescue. Dustin and Steve rescue Nancy and Jonathan, and Holly is running through the abyss when Vecna starts to wake up, and she pulls the ground, and she just starts free falling, and Vecna pulls her back into the abyss after she ends up in the Upside Down. All right, so Erica, Murray, and Mr. Clark find where Dustin's group is, and everybody reunites at the Hawkins lab, where they remove one of the plates where the ground broke to go into the Upside Down and get Dustin, Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan. And Mr. Clark is in just sheer amazement because this man has been in the dark for the past 5 years about everything. Also, back at the hospital, Karen is also kind of getting a quick download on everything. Max reveals, Dr. K orders hackers who got mind control. I mean, not mind control, but damn near got brain fried by 11 in like the first few episodes to track down 11. Dustin explains that the Abyss is a separate dimension. Meanwhile, Max also explains that Henry's plan is to merge it with their world. Hopper and Steve say, the best way to probably get this is to let him bring the dimensions closer to the point where we can pretty much get there because we can't fly a helicopter there. Callie tells Eleven that the best way that all this can end is after they beat Henry for them to die. So neither Dr. K or anybody else can replicate Bernard's experiment. Before they get ready to go on their final mission, Will goes on a full exposition dump, tell everybody he's gay. I kind of wish it was like Shazam, Fury to the guys, and everybody would be like, yeah, we know, dude. So yeah, they all go back into the Upside Down. Holly reawakens back at Henry's house, where she tries to tell all the other kids that, Henry is not a good guy to save them. He is actually here to destroy the world, and she tries to get Derek to convince him to agree with her, but Derek remembers what Vecna said about, killing his family. And then I've never seen kids act so violently besides in the movie Cooties. Bro, Holly smashed that girl upside the head with the radio, tried to run out, and then they just like whooped her ass. And then Henry basically put all the kids in the trance to, begin his plan of merging the worlds. Some very good episodes. The first two, I literally got goosebumps throughout the episodes. The third one, everyone's a little bit critical because, we're doing a lot of exposition dumps. I mean, we only have one episode left, so we kind of need to get all the crap out of the way. And like, people just didn't understand that Jonathan and Nancy broke up. So like, people were like, yo, did they break up? Did he propose? What's going on? I don't know. He literally said, this is an unproposal. And she threw the ring, bro. She didn't put the ring on. If she put the ring on, don't you think they would have gotten engaged? But no, she threw the ring. They broke up. Good grief, guys. So yeah, that's it. That was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg. Use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. Next week, if there's any news, I'll cover that. But I will be reviewing the series finale of Stranger Things, episode 5 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and Anaconda. So, guys, I wish you all a very happy new year, and I will see you in 2026.